The best of Money Matters. Right Business.
Welcome to The Right Business, where we dive deep into the stories of trailblazers who dare to disrupt the status quo, find the gap in the market to find the right business. Hello, I'm Hongbin Jeong. Ad costs are rising, creative fatigue sets in faster, and most brands struggle to build marketing systems that drive consistent, profitable growth. And many turn to agencies, only to find themselves stuck in one-size-fits-all retainers with vague results and zero accountability. This time, this enters RKOH Media. Positioned as a new age e-commerce growth agency, RKOH Media partners with 7- and 8-figure DTC brands to engineer healthy, scalable revenue using what they call the DTC Holistic Acquisition System. Now, the agency doesn't just run ads. They build automated, performance-driven systems that add at least $20,000 to a client's net profit in 90 days or less. And if not, they don't get paid. So how does their model work, and why are so many fast-growing brands turning to them for results? Well, to find out more, joining us today is Ryan Koh, who is the CEO of RKOH Media. Hi, Ryan. Welcome to the show.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, Ryan, your story seems like it started not with dropping out of school, but with dropping out of video games. Okay, so while most kids, are enjoying their post-PSLE break, you were Googling how to make money online, which led you to drop shipping, where you lost your first $3,000, but also began an unexpected entrepreneurial journey. What was going through your mind at that time, and how did that first failure, shape what came next?
Yeah, so back then, just after I completed my PSLE, honestly, I was very bored. And just like any other regular teenager, I was I wanted to find a way to make money.
Okay.
And I wanted to make money actually fast and, an easy way, and try to find a shortcut online. So then I went down the rabbit hole of, finding ways to make money online. There's tons of things that I came across, like drop shipping, affiliate marketing, Amazon FBA. But then I stuck to drop shipping because it was literally I could get started with little to no upfront cost, just the ad cost. Then that's how I, really got started. And kind of how the first failure actually, was with the $3,000. That was really painful because I was just 12 years old back then, and I saved the money from scrimping at my recess money, and my savings and the scholarship money I gotten from studying hard in school, and I just crashed and burned all this money right through testing products. And back then, I think the reason why I really failed, and I think looking back right now, is actually quite normal, because back then I was just really copying and pasting what everyone was doing, right? And I thought if someone was doing $100K a month with that product, I could do it just by copying it. But then it's not the case, right? If it's the case, everyone would be millionaires, right? So then for me, then I really learned to look more in terms of advertising, in terms of more psychological angles, etc. And that's how I kind of worked my way up and, found my first winning product itself.
Wow. I mean, your journey started when you were just 12 years old, while other people probably were playing video games. Now, fast forward, you've built RKOH Media, an e-commerce growth agency behind many 7- and 8-figure brands. What made you jump to e-commerce, and what gap have you identified which led you to, create RKOH Media?
Yeah, so when I was doing dropshipping, I was always in e-commerce itself. Dropshipping is a subset of e-commerce. Basically, you find a product from China and you sell it to another market like US or Europe, and you charge 3 to 5 times the price itself, right? So I've always been in e-commerce, I think, almost for the past decade, 8 years right now. And I think what really led me to actually running RKOH Media was because I really grew kind of sick and tired. Yes, money was great, but, with dropshipping and all, you find a product, the product dies out, and you have to switch a new one. It's just keep constantly, having that shiny object syndrome, having to find the next winning one. And when I'm running one store, I was like, there could be a better product. I could be missing out this. So there's a lot of this, opportunities that I was in my mind. I was really suffering from shiny object syndrome, right? So I was not in a very good state of mind as well, and having to, constantly switch up products and tests. So then I was realized, hey, what actually got me the sales or success is my passion for advertising. I really like how, we can actually turn words, copy, images, visually, and, videos to actually convince people to purchase products. And I decided to, focus on my best skill and expertise that I developed over the years, which was advertising itself, and just focus on one thing only, right? No shiny object, just focus on one thing only. And at the same time, how I got started was very simple. I literally didn't charge any retainers. I was hey, let me run this for you for free. If you see results, then you pay. I think that's fair. You only see results, then you pay. And that's the gap that I found, which I think that a lot of agencies out there are just, they just charge ridiculous high fees even without seeing any sort of results. So I don't think And people have been burned before, and I spoke to too many to actually count, of people being burned by all these agencies charging like hefty fees. So it's like, coming in with my own model and, trying to disrupt the market basically.
Okay, well, we'll dive into more of that in just a bit, but I want you to help me explain what this ecosystem of a DTC holistic acquisition system that you built RKOH Media around, how does it work?
Yeah, it's a good question. So basically, we don't just run the ads, and the reason why it's called holistic acquisition is because we focus on every single part of a customer buying journey, right? So many brands or agencies actually make the one biggest mistake is that they only focus on one part, which is the ads, which I think it's okay, but you neglect the entire system. So the reason why, we want it down in every part of the customer journey is because you capture let's say, a prospect with a cold ad itself, but that itself is not enough to actually convert someone. Now you've gotten the attention of ads, which actually just help you to target the right people and with the right messaging, attract the right pool of audience. But how do you actually kind of nurture that attention and turn it into actual interest, right? Buying interest. And then that is with our creative. So the second part of our system is actually called the creative flywheel. So being able to create psychologically backed creatives that actually target people's insecurities or inner desires, subconscious desires, etc., to actually convert that attention that you've gotten from the ads into actually intent, right? Which is an interest into the product ends at all. And then after that, we actually convert this interest further into an actual sale through optimizing the website. That's what we call conversion rate optimization, which we then fix the problem of, converting the customers itself. Because you can have the best ads in the world, honestly. But if you lose a lot of people along the way through, poor creatives, which the messaging doesn't align well, or even with poor websites, you're just going to lose a lot of money. So we need to actually control every part of the customer journey, and that's why we get really good results. And even on top of that, we even help the brands to optimize their backend, which is to fix their profit, right? Which we call the profit maximization, which we actually implement like cross-sells and upsell systems to actually increase their average basket size, which we call in e-commerce sense is average order value. So now we spend $20 to acquire one customer, they spend $60. But now with optimize, the upsells and everything, and now the customer end up buying $80. So that extra $20 in profit. And that's why, with greater profits, you can spend more on ads to acquire customers. And it's like a whole ecosystem, right? It goes back to the first part. So that's kind of how it really plays out, just optimizing every single part of a customer buying journey itself.
Very interesting. Well, let's dive deeper into your actual services here. What are some of the services that you do offer? Is it mostly paid media or anything else? What can clients expect from you? Yeah,
so we primarily focus on paid media itself, which we start off with every client with our most stable platform, which is Meta and Instagram ads. So once that's dialed in, when I mean dialed in, it means that it has to be consistently producing results. So once that's being dialed in, then we actually move on to other platforms like your Google ads and your TikTok ads and your TikTok shop ads. So we primarily do everything paid media related because we believe that that's the most predictable and fastest way to actually get real sales online. Organic, we have done that for our clients before, but to be honest, in order to really get sales in a predictable manner, to be able to spend $1 and confidently say, I want to get $3 or $4 back, you need to use paid media itself. So then paid media is like our primary service, but obviously with our clients that we have already been working with for a while, we actually do help them with retention marketing, like your emails and even WhatsApp marketing itself. So, basically nurturing the existing customers, getting them to buy. But top line revenue key driver would be paid ads itself. Yeah.
Okay. So let's circle back here. You mentioned that, if you don't get results, you don't get paid. I mean, you help brands add 50 to 100K per month in recurring revenue in 90 days or less, or they don't pay. What gives you that confidence to stand behind that guarantee? Do you, refer to any data to make such a bold statement?
Yeah, so I think first of all is to put money where our mouth is, right? So we got to be able to walk the talk, right? And yeah, I mean, in terms of data and all, we've consistently clockwork added extra $50,000 to $100,000 per month in recurring revenue for clients, and that's because we've consistently done that over and over and over again. That's become like a pattern that we can actually put out this guarantee. And at the same time, I think it's to give that assurance, right? Because a lot of brands come to us, they may have been burned by other people or just been sold by these empty promises. So why not just add that level of assurance with, results that we actually can deliver? But obviously, for us to actually do that for the clients, we actually have to qualify them to make sure if it's a good fit first. Because only brands that are really qualified to work with us, then we can actually implement this guarantee as well. So it's also a bit of KYC before we actually can implement the guarantee itself.
Okay, you said the brands have to qualify as well. So what is the criteria a brand has to have for you to acquire them?
Yeah, so minimally, the brand has to be doing at least $20,000 per month in revenue itself, at least for the past 3 months consistently. And the reason why is very simple, right? We are here to scale brands, not really to, start a new brand with, this brand itself. So $20,000 per month actually has clearly shown that the brand has achieved a product market fit. And when it comes to scaling brands, we need to achieve a product market fit to have a validated product, validated market offer, and validated audience and messaging for us to even come in to scale them up and for us to be able to promise those kind of results, right? So, and second thing is that the business has to be economically viable to run ads, because a lot of people think that they can just throw money in ads and it'll work. No, right? If your business gross profit margins are very, very low, you actually can't run ads because you would just be spending more and you might just end up burning yourself itself. So we look at their gross profit margins, we kind of walk through the numbers itself on a call, ask them for their cost of goods, the COGS, the shipping fees, and calculate their gross profit margin to see whether it's economically feasible. And last but not least, do they have the supply chain to actually take on that amount of orders that we do for them, right? Because we don't want to end up in a point where we scale them really fast, but they can't handle the volume. We had that with some of our clients that they had to pause the ads and restock and stuff like that. So that's something that we actually kind of understand now, and we make sure that it's actually dialed in as well. So those 3 parts, that's for our done for you, but we also have done with you, which means that brands, because we realize that actually a lot of brands, are also underserved in a sense that they're not qualified, but yet they want to work with us. And if they really have a cool product, like something that people actually love, we'll love to get behind, but we'll do with on a done with you basis, meaning more of a consulting basis. We don't implement for them, but we teach them how to use our systems and, how to actually, craft the system for themselves, by themselves.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, you do keep to your promise to help, these companies grow, because you help generate over $33,500,000 in client revenue so far. So, Ryan, what is your secret? I mean, what were some of the biggest growth levers or campaigns that contributed to that number?
Yeah, I think the biggest growth levers that we pull, especially in paid media right now, to achieve such phenomenal results is definitely your creatives, right? Because creatives is a new targeting right now with Facebook ads. You don't even really need to target a specific interest. In the past, people, for example, a supplement brand, people always target health influencers, etc. But right now, it's all about your creative, right? So how do you actually convert people through your creatives? And especially right now with AI and all, it becomes so much easier to actually pump out creatives. So what we do actually for our clients is that, with a client, when they get onboarded, we test minimally 3 to 5 ad concepts a week. So we're actually pushing out every single month, minimally 30 to 60 ads, which we test in volume. And all of these creatives that we do are actually psychologically backed, right? Meaning it's gone through market research, and we don't just throw out random ads. We test with intent, we test our hook rate, our creative, performance rate, etc. So we make sure that these creatives are actually getting the sales itself. And then, like I said, since we control every single part of a customer journey, we can pretty much get those results, because if the ads are not good, we'll fix it. If the landing page is not good, we fix it. We don't like to play the pointing fingers game. Oh, it's because your website is not good, that's why we're not getting good results, right? We take accountability for every part, and that's kind of how we actually able to get such numbers itself.
Oh, I see. Well, I mean, we talked about how you have this criteria for a client to acquire your services, but it also seems like you only take on a select number of clients per quarter, which is unusual since other companies would take as many clients as they can, right? Why the limited intake? Is it about capacity, quality control, or something else?
Yeah. That's a good question. So yeah, I mean, for us itself, we do not massively bring in clients. I don't think, we are a churn and burn agency. We don't like to take on and, part ways. And actually, in fact, a client stays with us for on average around 1 to 3 years itself. And because of the deals that we do, usually it's very revenue share heavy, means that we actually take a significant percent of the sales that we generate. So it's as though we have own stake into these brands. So now that we bring on all of these brands, we want to obviously give them the best experience and results, right? So give them undivided attention and to make sure that their account is properly serviced itself. And that's why, we only accept a selected number of clients every single quarter itself. And once we close those, once we meet the intake itself, we close and we put it on a waiting list. So on our waiting list is on a first come, first serve basis. We would then assess, hey, if the business is ready to work, and then we'll basically get started with them. But I think back to your question, is definitely to ensure the best quality for the clients itself, and to actually ensure that, we get good results for current clients. Everyone is satisfied satisfied, everyone's happy before you even bring in new one. And obviously, to run an agency with over 300 clients, 500 clients is definitely going to be a chaos. It's a lot of stuff, both teams and both clients, and logistical nightmare. It's very hard to deliver itself. So we rather be bespoke and focus on a select number of clients and just get them very good results. And that itself is able to bring very good amount of revenue just because of the rev share. And, again, it ties back to the results that we generate for them.
It's all about quality here. So what's the typical journey for a new client working with RKOH Media from onboarding to results? Is there, particular feedback that you'd like to share with us? Any success stories?
Yeah, so from onboarding to, getting good results, like a typical, basically, let's say we have our demo call itself, 11 days from then, the ads will be up at live. We don't take 1 month to onboard or to study the brand. We get things done ASAP itself. And basically, in 3 months or less, we usually add $550,000 to $100,000 per month in recurring revenue for the brand itself. So if we look at case studies, actually quite a few of our clients actually did come on to Money FM before to share their stories and brands. Some I cannot name due to NDA, but for example, we helped a eco-friendly cleaning brand in Singapore, which also happened to come on Money FM before. And we basically took their brand from doing $100 per day Shopify to $3,000 per day in 96 days working together with us. So that's around $96,000 a month. Basically a startup brand, right? But with this brand, it's a special one because obviously the brand has really good products, and we believe in that. We see the growth potential. That's why we work with them. So we actually do work with clients sometimes, really, but this is very selective. If they do not meet the criteria of 20K per month, if they really have a good product, right, and brand, obviously. So then we are able to really bring them and grow them past 6 figures per month. And now we're looking to bring them international, etc. So on average, we, for example, we help beauty brands, skincare brands, health and wellness supplement brands. Those are usually our main niches, and they usually go from let's say 30K to 120,000. And it's just very fulfilling because for a brand to actually tell you that how you transform their business 30 times their business, and it's really phenomenal. And also we also help one I can recall is a furniture brand actually in Singapore. We took them from around I think $8,000 a month to $80,000 per month in 87 days. So previous days they were actually running ads on Carousel itself, just Carousel. But then we actually worked with them. We brought them with Facebook ads, and back then we were telling them, hey, you got to spend $500 per day. It's oh really? Oh, okay. But they decided to take a leap of faith, and when you take the leap of faith with us, we just get you the results itself. So it's really crazy in terms of the results that we get, but honestly it's also the transformation and kind of the bonds that we build with clients along the way as well. That's really what I'm here for, and getting good results. And now most of our clients are actually one of my close friends, basically.
Amazing. Well, before we let you go here, Ryan, what's next for RKOH Media?
Yeah, what's next for us? I think definitely we wanna grow a company to 8 figures within the next 1 to 2 years. And at the same time, we also wanna invest and buy businesses that fit our criteria itself. So we're looking mainly at a high margin service-based businesses, and also to own our portfolio of SaaS, tech companies, tech startups, and also e-commerce brands. So kind of to do a holding company structure where we actually do hold a few companies under our brand, because we know how to grow companies fast with Paydat. So we can pretty much work with any brand as long as it's qualified, and bring them on and get them to 7 to 8 figures itself. And really it's kind of helping these Singapore brands to basically grow them big, 6 figures per month. Because in Singapore e-commerce landscape, I think usually we see companies capping out at 100 to 250K a month. So to bring them globally, because our clients, the 145 brands so far that I work with, they are all based internationally, right? So clients from Singapore, Malaysia, Hong Kong, US, UK, Australia, Canada, etc. So we love to bring brands from Asia. I think there's a lot of amazing brands here, and bring them internationally as well. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Ryan, for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. That was Ryan Koh, CEO of RKOH Media. This has been The Right Business with me, Hongbin Jeong.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.